I've been trying to avoid this for a while. I've talked about it somewhat and everything, but honestly, I kind of touched upon it during some of my discussions and all that, and well, quite honestly, I think it's time for me to really give my thoughts on it. Now, we all know that hold on, there we go. Got a little wax in the ear. We all know that WWE has I don't know if you want to call it a vaccination, a sick vaccination, an obsessed vaccination, or whatever it is, with getting even with CM Punk, with Phil Brooks CM Punk. I don't know what it is. Really, I don't. I mean, you think they would just let this vaccination, this invaccination with CM Punk go. The guy has been gone for the company for over 2 years. He's been gone from the company, 2.5 years. Yes, he walked out on the company in 2014 after the Royal Rumble. He's been gone since then. He said some derogatory remarks. Most of those remarks pretty much in the eyes of a lot of people, whether they're pro wrestling reporters, interviewers, researchers, fans. Pretty much some of those remarks that he gave in his infamous Colt Cabana interview, a shoot interview he did, pretty much were well deserved. I mean, pretty much is everything that a WWE superstar or diva deep down really wants to say about the company. And here's a guy in CM Punk that when he did this interview and has done what he's done, even before then and afterwards, he's pretty much, in the WWE's eyes, exposing them for who, in a sense, they really are behind the scenes, and they don't like it. They don't like it because it's basically giving them a bad rep. And now here you have him on the verge of him making his UFC debut. UFC, who gets hugely covered by SportsCenter, Fox Sports, mostly every media outlet you can think of. And here's a guy that says the things that he has, that they're going to talk about upon him making his debut. They're going to interview and talk with more often. And because of that, people are going to research him who may be new to him, see what he had to say about WWE, and in WWE, they know that's going to happen, which is why they're doing whatever it takes to get back on him, or back at him. Now, is it childish on their part to do so? Of course it is. Of course it's childish. But you got to look at it from a business standpoint. This is the WWE. When it comes to pro wrestling, this is the be-all, end-all. It doesn't matter if you've made a name for yourself with Ring of Honor. Doesn't matter if you made a name for yourself in TNA. Doesn't matter if you made a name for yourself in PWG. Doesn't matter if you make a name for yourself in GFW. Doesn't matter if you made a name for yourself in any of the Japan organizations like All Japan, or New Japan, or Noah. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you made a name for yourself in CZW. Doesn't matter if you made a name for yourself in AAA or CMLL. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you made a name for yourself in any of those places or tried to reinvent yourself in any of those places. Your one destination, your one goal is to get to the WWE. But if you get there and you do something in the long run that goes against them, let's say you do a CM Punk and you walk out, and then you start voicing how you feel about them, of course they're going to be pissed off at you. They're going to be pissed off at you in a major, major way. And they're going to do whatever it takes to bring you down. They're going to do whatever it takes to make your life miserable. You know, it's like with Hulk Hogan. We all know what he did. And slowly but surely, even maybe a week or two afterwards, the WWE started to slowly bring his merchandise back. But for a brief time, he was gone. No existence. Nothing. They basically, as some people have labeled it, they Benoit'd him. Basically acted like he didn't exist. Basically acted like the character that he's been known for was just a fictional character. And that was it. Well, yeah, you know, it wasn't Hulk Hogan. You get the idea. It's kind of like with Benoit himself. Benoit did all these great things in wrestling, but as soon as he did the dumbass thing that he did, guess what? Ceased to exist. Who's Benoit? I don't know. Oh, I don't know who this Chris Benoit you talk about. That's basically what it is. I mean, why do you think Triple H had to tell fans at NXT, even before the show went on the air, they were chanting Benoit at him, to basically told him that's not funny? Well, one, it wasn't, but two, it's the fact that the WWE doesn't want to acknowledge someone like Benoit anymore, especially for what he did. And that's why for the short term, they didn't want to acknowledge who Hulk Hogan was. Nobody did. And then you got Seth Rollins' own girlfriend doing what she's done, and she pretty much looked like she was going to get an opportunity to portray the sister of Solomon Cowell, if you will, or Solomon Cowell. And what happens? After what she's done and said gets posted, she's gone. She's gone like Zara, like what was her name? Zara who? I don't know who you're talking about. You see, in today's world, if you do anything to the be-all of end-all in professional wrestling, that is the WWE, if you do anything to embarrass them, if you do anything to ruin their public image, if you do anything to slander them, make people turn against them and question whether or not what they're doing right now is nothing more than a facade, a cover-up, because they don't want people to still think of them as that company that did what they did during the Attitude and Ruthless Aggression eras, then of course you're going to do whatever it takes to make that person or those people that go against you and that are doing that to you pay. No matter how childish it might be. Which is why when people look at the fact that Nikki Bella is holding the Divas Championship up until possibly Night of Champions, where she can end up dropping it to Charlotte, why do you think they have done this whole revolution? It's pretty much everything from what Schleg Daddy has said, Off the Rope Deluxe Man has said, Don Tony Kevin Castle has said, the Solid Monster has said. Everybody has said the same thing. This Divas Revolution was nothing more than an excuse, as good as a concept as it could be, nothing more than an excuse to derive people's attention away from the fact that Nikki Bella is going to break AJ Lee's record. And why? Because AJ Lee, who goes by AJ Brooks now on her Twitter account, is married to CM Punk, Phil Brooks. And another way to get back at CM Punk, take the longest reign as Divas champion away from his wife. So that way if she ever decides to come back, she has to start all over again. She has to try to regain that status again. Basically it's like if she comes back, yeah, they'll apologize and everything, but basically it's their way of saying, hey, look, if your husband hadn't done what he did, you wouldn't have lost your record. All you have to do is tell your husband to come back here and apologize, and we'll probably let you still continue being the longest reigning champion. Or whatever. But that's basically the reasoning Nikki has it. It isn't because she's married to John Cena, partially maybe it is, but most of it is not because of that. It's mostly due to the fact that they want her to break AJ Lee's record because AJ Lee didn't walk out of the company. She just asked for her release. She wanted to hang it up. And they even acknowledged that on TV, so that was good. She went out in her own terms, gracefully, on good terms. But yet, even at good terms, basically doing this with Nikki Bella is pathetic and as childish as it may seem because of CM Punk. It's like, I'll tell you what would happen. I'll tell you what. If CM Punk was to come back to WWE right now, go on Raw or SmackDown or even on a pay-per-view and shoot and publicly apologize for his actions to WWE, admit he was wrong about them, admit he was wrong about everything else, Nikki Bella, before Night of Champions, would lose her title, thus AJ would keep her long title reign. That's the truth. That is the truth. And you know it, I know it. That's the truth. I mean, if CM Punk would have came back at SummerSlam as a surprise, for a surprise appearance, came out, did a shoot, if you will, in the middle of the ring, apologized for what he had done, admitted that WWE was right and he was wrong, I guarantee you the following night after SummerSlam, Nikki Bella would have put her title on the line against either Charlotte, Becky, or Paige, and she would have lost her title, thus AJ would still be the longest reigning Divas champion. But because of what CM Punk did, and because AJ's married to him, that pretty much means her long reign as champion is doomed. It's pretty much in the books. Nikki's going to be the longest reigning champion. And a lot of people have said it's stupid and it's dumb. Because here's why. You're pretty much, in the eyes of a lot of fans, a lot of wrestling insiders, podcasters, and even wrestlers or retired wrestlers or semi-retired wrestlers and women wrestlers and all that themselves, you're pretty much, in a sense, making Nikki Bella the standard of the Divas division. You're pretty much making somebody that, yes, she's improving, but as many have pointed out, is not on the level of a Paige, in reality is not on the level of a Paige or Charlotte or a Becky, the standard bearer for what a Divas champion should be. You're pretty much making her the standard bearer out of spite for what CM Punk did to your company. Out of spite for the fact that what CM Punk did to your company, and because AJ is married to Punk, you're doing it because of that. You pretty much in the eyes of people that don't like this, they pretty much, and I agree with this, they pretty much feel that if AJ was to come out and say, "Oh, me and CM Punk are divorcing," almost immediately, just like I said about the thing with CM Punk coming out at SummerSlam and doing the work shoot, if he had done that, if AJ Lee would come out and say, "Oh, me and CM Punk are getting a divorce," I could guarantee you almost immediately, the following night on Raw, Nikki Bella would lose her belt. And AJ would still be the longest reigning champion. That is a guaranteed fact. But you see, it's because of what CM Punk did, it's because AJ's married to CM Punk, that WWE is doing this out of spite. They're pretty much making Nikki Bella, in the eyes of people that don't agree with it, the standard bearer. And you know what the WWE is going to do in the end? What's going to happen? In the eyes of many fans that look at it that way, they're going to pretty much have to eat crow. That's right. They're going to pretty much have to eat crow. They're pretty much going to have it blow up in their face, because even after a short while with that championship on Charlotte, because I think that's where they're going, and that's what they're planning to do in the first place when she came up. Pretty much, Charlotte, Becky, Paige, Bayley, Sasha, and anybody else, Natalie, Natalia, Naomi, and even Tamina, and who knows what's going to happen with her now because of what's going on with her dad, but still, they will pretty much put anything the Bellas did to shame. Pretty much, this is going to blow up in the WWE's face because it won't even take that long It won't even take a month or 2 or 3, and fans and insiders and retired and semi-retired wrestlers and women wrestlers are going to pretty much look at them as the standard bearers now, and then look at Nikki Bella's reign as a freaking joke. In a sense, as soon as Nikki loses that belt, yeah, she could say she has the record, but guess what? People are going to pretty much forget about it. They're going to be like, what record? We don't know what you're talking about. What championship are you talking about? Because they're going to pretty much know there was nothing more than an excuse by WWE to get back at CM Punk for what he did, as childish as it may seem. Everybody knows that. I mean, you have freaking Deluxe Man do a skit, if you will, on that situation. And I applaud him for that skit. And the point is, because the point is, her title reign, Nikki Bella's title reign, as long as it's going to be, is going to be forgettable. The moment Charlotte wins that belt, because it looks like that's where they're going, everybody's going to slowly start to forget, if not instantly forget, that Nikki Bella ever had that championship. Because Charlotte, if they book her right, is going to be the women's Divas champion that people have been asking for. They've been asking for it, they've been waiting for it, and now they're going to get it. And because of this, you're going to pretty much forget about Nikki's title reign. As a matter of fact, I can almost guarantee people are not even going to acknowledge Nikki as the longest reigning champion. They're going to still acknowledge AJ as the longest reigning champion because she was the better in-ring performer. I mean, nothing against Nikki Bella or her sister. I'm sure they're great at what they do. I'm sure that, I definitely agree they're improving. But the thing is, improving and being good at what you're doing are two different things, okay? They're two different things. I mean, if you're good, you're good. If you're improving, you're improving. And if the eyes of a majority of wrestling fans, wrestling insiders, wrestling podcasters, and basically the wrestling community itself, from active to semi-active to retired wrestlers and women wrestlers, if a majority of them pretty much say, yeah, Nikki Bella, you only got that belt not because you're married to John Cena, not because you're engaged to John Cena, well, partially so, but it's mostly because WWE wants to get back at CM Punk for what he did. And oh, by the way, yeah, you'll be the longest reigning champion, but nobody's going to remember you. They're going to pretty much still look at AJ as the longest reigning champion. That's going to be about it. Yeah, she'll have that moniker, but people are going to pretty much forget about it the way they feel. The way they feel about it, they're going to pretty much wipe it aside. They're going to say, you know, you can have WWE push the fact that she was the longest reigning champion. No fan's going to believe it. No fan's going to believe it. Because they're going to still look at AJ, an actual women's wrestler that can go in the ring, as the champion. That's what they're going to look at. They're not going to look at Nikki Bella being the champion. No, they're going to look at AJ. And that's a fact. And again, it's all basically part of what's going to happen to WWE. It's going to blow up in their face. Because when people come out, when they have Nikki come out and say, hey, even in defeat, in loss of my title, I'm still the longest reigning champion, you know, you're going to have fans going, no, no, no. And you're going to have fans going, and when she basically acknowledges she's the longest, you're going to have, like I said, you're going to have fans saying no, chanting no, no, no when she acknowledges she was the longest reigning champion. And if she kind of interacts and say, oh, if I'm not, then who is? You're going to have fans saying AJ, AJ, AJ. That's what's going to happen. You can have Nikki Bella come out, acknowledge she's the longest reigning champion, or was the longest reigning Divas champion of all time. You can have fans chanting no, no, no. And if she interacts with them and asks, well, who, if I wasn't, who is? And you're going to have people going, AJ, AJ, AJ. And why? Because they pretty much they would be telling the WWE, we don't believe she was the longest reigning champion. We think this whole freaking reign was nothing but a joke. And you only kept it on her in spite of what CM Punk, because kept it on her